So I think this is going to be Polypoid. So second game is going to be Polypoid. We'll see if Dewalt can even up the series 1-1. Again, this is a best of 3, so this might be the final game if Pitbull takes it. If Dewalt takes it, there will be one more game. Polypoid. I like this map. I don't know about it for Protoss versus Zerg. Dewalt actually got my favorite position for Protoss versus Zerg. He's got a lot of surface area to build a lot of cannons here. So this should be a good spot for him. He is in the top right. Meanwhile, Pitbull bottom left. Just doing Pitbull things. Not exactly 973, but just an overwhelming amount of Hydras. We already saw Wiko today build so many Hydras versus Boneth, despite taking a few drone losses in the early stages of the game. It really did not disrupt his build at all. And remember, Dewalt just got 5 drone kills with his first DT, and that didn't disrupt Pitbull at all. So really, really good macro from these Korean Zerg players. This time Dewalt gonna send probe to the low ground. I think this has got to be a gateway expand. Not that the Forge expand didn't work, or the Nexus first didn't work, but Pitbull always has done really well versus players that just play pretty passive in the early stages, at least from what I've seen him play. So gateway expand going to be coming in for Dewalt here. He wants to put pressure back onto Pitbull, not let him just run him over with mass Hydras. And we'll see how many Zealots or how many kills he can get with his Zealots. We already saw Snow just dismantle True Touch with 3 Zealots, even almost knocking down a hatchery. Now, how many Zealots will Dewalt go for versus True Touch? I think it was 2 before the Nexus. When we saw Boneth play, it was 1. So we'll have to see what Dewalt opts for. Overpool again for Pitbull. And this is another map where he can take an easy third base, a very close third base. So I'm actually expecting Pitbull to take this base. I don't think he will take this base, but it wouldn't surprise me. And I'm just kind of waiting to see if there's going to be any deviation. The Hydra play looks so strong, I personally wouldn't deviate it at all. There is the hatch at the net. Now last game we did see 3 hatch before gas. Gas ended up going down around 250. This time Pitbull's going to scout Dewalt almost first. He did do kind of a weird scout to the top and loop around, but he does see that it is a gateway expand. He does confirm at least 1 Zealot is going to pop out. Lings are coming out. Now last time we saw 1 drone and 4 Lings. There's the 1 drone. There's the 4 Lings. And Dewalt did get a pretty quick scout off, so he sees exactly what's going on. Again, Pitbull not getting the super fast gas. Zealot moving across the map. Overlord's going to see it, so he's going to intercept it. We saw in the game of True Touch versus Snow is that Snow just opted to send the Zealot to a random location on the map near True Touch's base, and it avoided all of the Overlords. Now there is the third base for Pitbull at mid left. Drone or Lings are dealing with the probe. The Zealot is kind of tucked away in this third base. Meanwhile, Lings do get into the main of Dewalt. I'm a bit surprised by that. Also, there was no second Zealot. It looked like the Nexus went down before the second Zealot, so that allows these Lings to pretty much get in for free. Now here comes the Zealot, but the probe got taken out, so he's going to just actually scoot around to the third base. It looks like that this Zealot is more designed to just scout and be annoying, as opposed to trying to get into the natural. Now one of the Lings got taken out. Gas has started, or is completed for Pitbull. No speed just yet. And he is just going to tuck that Zealot in the back of the minerals. Forge is done, so cannon's going to come up. Dewalt's going to be completely safe. The Zealot really did not do much damage, especially with the probe being taken down so quickly. And now this kind of gives Pitbull some breathing room. He can go for the Hydrogen if he wants. That looks like what we're going to see. So this most likely is going to be the 973 style. He doesn't have that high of a drone count just yet, but he is going to pump them out pretty quickly. Meanwhile, last game we saw Dewalt go for straight Citadel. He needs to go for that again this time. We saw how well the Hydras were dealing with the Zealots when they didn't have speed. So he's going to need to rush out speed this time, rush out Templar Archive, get some storms up and available. 7 drones in the main. We've got 7 drones at the natural, so we're looking for about 2 more in the main, 2 more at the third base, and we may just see non-stop hydras coming at Dewalt. He has no vision again. Probe has actually gotten around the side of the map, so may be able to get in, but I think the Lings should be able to cut it off. Cybernetics is done. Now, last game, for comparison, this Cybernetics was done at 4 minutes flat. I think that's right. So this is considerably later than what we saw last game. Still going to be a decent timing, but it is a Stargate timing, or a Stargate opening, not straight Citadel. I am so surprised that the probe gets in to the main, and now he's going to see that this is 3-hatch Hydra. So 973, he even sees the first Hydra be pumped out, and he can get a count onto the probes. He realizes that it's 9 there, 7 at the nat, 3 at the third base. So this is exactly what I was saying. 973 build from Pitbull Terrier. Cannons being spammed out from Dewalt, and this is one of the best spots that you can build cannons. Top right, so much area to actually plop them down as opposed to a place like bottom right. Citadel instantly goes up as soon as that gets scouted. Pitbull doesn't necessarily have to spam Hydras though. Instead, it looks like he's probably going to start droning. 4th hatch is coming in. 5th hatch going to start pretty soon. Yep, cycle of drones coming in. So a bit of a deviation for Pitbull. He's not going to put on consistent pressure. Just kind of let Dewalt know that, hey, I'm here, so you need to respect this. Otherwise, if I hit you with a second attack, you might die. And he is just out of range of the cannon, so this gate is going to fall. More gateways coming up for Dewalt. He's got to scramble to get these gateways up. 4 gates coming in. His first gate is already down. Needs to get his Templar Archive up, but I see that he's not mining gas at his nat, so he's actually very gas starved. So actually, he's just going to go toe-to-toe with Pitbull. He's going to call Pitbull's bluff that Pitbull is not going mass Hydras at this particular point in the game, and is just going to try and run over Hydras with mass Zealot. Now, I've tried something similar to this and never had success. There's just so many Hydras, and with speed onto the Hydras, it's really easy for them to just backpedal and get some free hits off. So we'll see how well this works out for Dewalt, but right now, I'm not thinking that this is the greatest decision for Dewalt to make, but maybe he can actually make magic happen. He is going to have a +1 power spike before the Zerg player. It is going to pop pretty soon, I think. It should probably be within the next 30 to 45 seconds. That's going to be 2 rounds of Zealots. So if he moves out with speed, with like 15 to 18 Zealots with +1, that may just be flat out too many. Now the Sayers are trying to supply Pitbull Terrier, because if he does get these 2 Overlords, he's going to be blocked at a time where Dewalt is just rallying units. So actually this might be a killing move from Dewalt. There's no sunken at mid left. There's no sunken at bot or at the natural, but there are only about 10 Zealots or so. But as he streams more and more across the map, if he can get upwards of like 16, 20, that may just be flat out too many. +1 has kicked in. Zealots are, okay, they're pretty good. They're dealing with the top side of the Hydras and the bottom side together. The econ really hasn't kicked in just yet for Pitbull. He's got a 6. Oh, he gets into the natural. There's not that many Hydras there. A full drone pull coming. They're actually going to mess up the AI of a couple of these Zealots. He's trying to just run them by. So many Overlords are also going to fall here. So this is going to be another critical supply block. Into the third base is Dewalt. That's a lot of drones going down. And now Pitbull's in trouble. Zealots into the main too. He's got a ton of Zealots. The Hydras have to deal with the main Zealots while he's just barreling down on the third base. This is a third or half of the production for Pitbull Terrier. And I think Dewalt has just done it. There's too many Zealots. There's actually still 12 Zealots here, or 10 Zealots. He's going to supply block him again. The Sayers have done so much damage, even though it's just 1 or 2. He's gotten multiple kills. I think the other Corsair ended up getting taken out, but he may end up blocking him again. And GG. So Dewalt ends up taking game 2 with a really nice timing, recognizing that there were 2 Overlords for free sitting outside of his base. And now that he could supply block him, he can easily just overrun the Zerg army. So this is going to be the final game. Dewalt with a really nice timing there. A ton of zealots.